It's Dan here. And today we're going to discuss the fear that looks like wisdom. So here's the problem. Fear is smarter than people give it credit for. After you turn 25 or right around that area, fear stops showing up like panic and freaking out. Instead, uh, it stops looking like fear altogether. But fear puts on its nice tie. Fear gets a haircut. Fear learns to sound reasonable. It sounds prudent. It sounds responsible. Fear starts using phrases like, I'm just being realistic, and now isn't a good time. And, oh, let me think about this for a while. Fear sounds like wisdom, but that's how it traps the most people. Let me give you some examples. See if any of these sound familiar. I would love to start that business, but I need to wait until the kids are older. Or I want to apply for that job, but I really should have more experience first. Or I want to start writing, but I need to do some research a little bit more before I can begin. Or I want to start saving for a house, but I need more time to get organized first. Sometimes it's wisdom. Sometimes it's fear in a costume. Or I want to put myself out there again, but I need more time to heal. Again, that could be wisdom, but most of the time, that's fear in a costume. Did you notice a pattern on all of those? Every one of those statements has a real version that's genuinely wise, but then there's a fake version. As most of the time, it's just fear. It's pretending. So how do you tell the difference? Because if you can't tell the difference, you'll spend years putting off your life just because fear has convinced you that it's the right thing. It's called patience. So fear and patience, be careful with those. So there's 4 questions that help me sort these things out. So use them on whatever decisions you're sitting on right now. So the first question, am I waiting for new information or am I just waiting? Real wisdom waits because there is a specific thing that needs to change before the move can make sense. Fake wisdom waits because waiting feels safer than moving. If you can't name the specific thing you're waiting for and how you'll know when you'll have it, you're probably not waiting, you're just hiding. So the question 2, I should say, um, have I been telling myself the same story for more than a year? Wisdom moves. We talked about that earlier this week. Wisdom adapts. If you've been saying, as soon as X happens, I'll start Y. For 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that's not wisdom. That's fear wearing a costume of patience. So wisdom doesn't keep you locked in the same place year after year after year. It's fear that keeps you locked in, keeps you waiting on something else to happen before you can do the next thing. So here's question 3. What's the worst thing that actually happens if I move? Wisdom thinks through real consequences, but fear thinks through imaginary consequences. When you list out the actual worst case for taking action, often it's way smaller than the fake worst case your brain has been running with. The real worst case for starting a side business is usually I spend some time, a little time on it, and it doesn't work. And I learn some new things, and I'm out maybe a little bit of money. That's very survivable. The fake worst case that works in your head is I lose everything, my whole life, my identity, it's shattered. Everybody's going to laugh at me forever. I'm going to be humiliated for life. Those are not the same thing. Let's look at question 4. And this one's good. Would I give this advice to my best friend? This one is the giveaway. If your best friend came to you with the exact same situation you're in that you're sitting on right now, and they told you the exact reason, the reasons you've been telling yourself that you shouldn't move, would you tell them, yeah, that's wisdom, don't move? Or would you tell them, what are you waiting for? Just go do it. Most of us are wiser when we're talking to other people. We're way wiser giving advice than we are talking to ourselves. So I'll give you an example from my own life. So after I got out of the Air Force, I had a lot of ideas about what I wanted to do next. And For a while, I told myself I needed to wait. I needed to figure out the lay of the land. I needed to see how things shook out. I needed to make sure the timing was right. Every one of those phrases sounded smart, and every one of those phrases was just fear in a costume. The truth was I was just scared of what would happen if I started something and it didn't work. I had been someone in the Air Force for quite a long time, and I didn't want to risk being the beginner again, being the new guy. But once I figured out that I was just calling my wisdom, like calling those thoughts in my head wisdom, and it was really fear, then the path forward got a whole lot clearer. So now you got to be careful though. So I'm not telling you to ignore wise counsel. I'm not saying that at all. I'm telling you to be very cautious with the voice of fear. Some caution's real. Some patience is real. Some timing genuinely matters. But there is a difference between wisdom and fear, and difference is that wisdom is grounded in a specific thing, and fear is grounded in this vague feeling. It's not a tangible, it's not a specific. Fear is vague. So here's what I want you to do today. Take whatever decision you've been sitting on the longest, the one that you've been talking yourself out of for the longest stretch of time. Run it through those 4 questions. Am I waiting for new information or am I just waiting? Have I been telling myself the same story year over year over year? What's actually the worst case if I did move forward? And would I give my friend the same advice? Be honest. That voice that's been talking you out of this might not be the voice of wisdom. It might be fear in a really good costume. Once you see the costume, you can take that costume off and move forward. Get that ball rolling. It's easy to adjust the direction the ball's rolling, but you got to get it rolling. So tomorrow, we close out this week's discussion with the truth that courage is a muscle. And the good news is that everything you've done this week, it's been building that muscle, whether you realized it or not. We'll pick up tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow.